Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Troilus and Cressida, and we get to hear from Ulysses today, again in Act 1, Scene 3. Ulysses being one of the Greeks, because remember, this takes place during the Trojan War, and what we've basically learned in Act 1, Scene 3 so far is that the Greeks are not terribly happy with how the war is going. They have been laying siege to the city of Troy for like 7 years and haven't made a whole lot of headway. They're just trying to get Helen back away from Paris so she'll go back to Menelaus, but they're not doing so well at that. And Agamemnon was like, we shouldn't be too worried about it because this is a test from the gods and the strongest will withstand the storm and everything like that. But we've had Ulysses speak up, and he gave this beautiful long speech yesterday about how there's so much chaos and infighting and uncertainty amongst the Greeks that the reason that they're not doing so well in this war has less to do with Troy being awesome and more to do with the Greeks being awful, being scattered and not knowing who's in charge, and everybody resents their superiors and all this sort of stuff. He ended his speech basically by saying that it's not because of our strength that Troy still stands, it's because of our weakness that Troy still stands. It has nothing to do with Troy's strength, it's our weakness. And so then the other guys that he's with, Agamemnon, Nestor, that crew, they're like, all right, so you've diagnosed the problem. How do we fix it? And Ulysses says, the great Achilles, whom opinion crowns the sinew and the forehand of our host, having his ear full of his airy fame, grows dainty of his worth, and in his tent lies mocking our designs. With him, Patroclus, upon a lazy bed the livelong day, breaks scurril jests, and with ridiculous and awkward action, which slanderer he imitation calls, he pageants us. Sometime, great Agamemnon, thy topless deputation he puts on, and like a strutting player whose conceit lies in his hamstring, and doth think it rich to hear the wooden dialogue and sound twixt his stretched footing and the scaffoulage, such to be pitied and o'errested seeming, he acts thy greatness in. And when he speaks, 'tis like a chime amending with terms unsquared, which from the tongue of a roaring typhoon dropped would seems hyperboles. At this fusty stuff, the large Achilles, on his pressed bed lolling, from his deep chest laughs out a loud applause, cries, excellent, 'tis Agamemnon just, now play me, Nestor, hum and stroke thy beard, as he, being dressed to some oration. That's done, as near as the extremest ends of parallels, as like as Vulcan and his wife, yet God Achilles still cries, excellent, 'tis Nestor, right, now play him, me, Patroclus, arming to answer in a night alarm. And then, forsooth, the faint defects of age must be the scene of mirth, to cough and spit, and with a palsy fumbling on his gorget, shake in and out the rivet. And at this sport, Sir Valor dies, cries, oh, enough, Patroclus, or give me ribs of steel, I shall split all in pleasure of my spleen. And in this fashion, all our abilities, gifts, natures, shapes, severals and generals of grace exact, achievements, plots, orders, preventions, excitements to the field, or speech for truce, success or loss, what is or is not, serves as stuff for these two to make paradoxes. So, this is a story all about how their lives got flipped, turned upside down. No, it's not about that. But it is a story. He's telling a story Achilles is one of the Greek generals. You know, Achilles, known for the heel thing, is one of the Greek generals, and he and his buddy Patroclus sit around making fun of all the other Greek generals, turning them into caricatures, exaggerating their mannerisms and behaviors. You know, when they're pretending to be Nestor, they, walk around all wobbly, and this guy, he's not able to get his armor on right, so he's like messing with it, blah, 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 blah. So Patroclus is like acting these things out, doing imitations, very, very over-exaggerated imitations of people like Agamemnon and Nestor and the like, to make Achilles laugh. And Achilles is very much laughing at it, very hard. He loves it, he encourages it, he's being entertained by it, so why would he want to stop? But Ulysses' point in this monologue is that this has been going on so long and has been so enjoyed by Achilles that at this point, anytime Agamemnon or Nestor or Ulysses or any of the other generals tries to give an order or explain a battle plan or, question something, add something to the conversation, this, that, anytime they try to do anything, what they do just turns into more fodder for Achilles and Patroclus to make fun of. So this is another instance of stuff that's going wrong within the Greek army. Nobody's taking any of it seriously anymore. They're all just turning it into this clown show that Patroclus is acting out for Achilles just to make him laugh. And it's a problem. So of course Nestor has to tack onto that, and we will get to hear his addition to this assessment in tomorrow's monologue. I'll see you then. Mwah.